Before we get into carving the turkey, I'd like to just say a few things about the equipment that I have here. I have the turkey on a carving board that has a moat for the juices, but I've also placed the carving board in a sheet pan with a rim so that it'll collect any juices that escape the moat, because that happens a lot. Next to it I have another cutting board, because this is where I'm going to be cutting the legs and the breast that I'm going to remove whole in one piece, and then I have a platter to transfer the boneless meat to. As far as the carving tools go, the fork is for stabilizing the turkey and helping you get a grip. It's not for stabbing the turkey, because that allows juices to get out. And then the knife is really a personal preference. I just like to use the sharpest knife I have in the drawer. Right now it's this boning knife, so that's what I'm going to use today. So the first thing I like to do when I'm carving a turkey is take the legs off, and then you can get a better shot at the breasts. So we just cut away the leg. This turkey is cooled down enough that I can handle it with my hands, which are clean, and I often find that it's easier to use my hands than the fork, which can be a little awkward sometimes. And I'm just feeling down in here for the leg joint. You'll feel a little resistance when you hit it. And as you carve the leg off, it's nice to try to get the oyster meat out too, which is a little area of meat right above the joint on the back, so that comes along with the thigh. And then we'll go down near the ball joint. Around and pull the leg away in one piece. Some people will tell you to do this skin side up, but I like to do it skin side down because it makes it easier to find where the joint is. And you kind of probe around. You can see that this is where the top of the drumstick is. And it's going to, again, you're not going to feel too much resistance. You're trying to get down between that joint so you can separate the thigh and the drumstick. So once you do that, flip it back over. Now with the thigh, the bone runs this way, so you can just cut slices of meat off running parallel to the bone. I like to remove the skin from the thigh before I carve it, because it sort of slides around, and then I come back and I cut it into strips and add it back to the thigh meat, because a lot of people love the crispy skin. And that you can transfer to a platter. Now with the leg, you can either do the same thing or you can just serve it whole, and somebody gets the whole leg to chew on. Then carve the other leg the same way. Okay, so I've carved both of the legs off, and they're on my platter. And now the way that I'm going to attack the breast depends on whether or not I'm going for the drama of a tableside carving or I'm doing this in the kitchen. If I'm doing this at the table, I like to cut down along the breastbone here until I reach the rib cage. And then I tend to like to cut across like this, because I believe that you get cuts that are more across the grain. And that translates to a more tender slice of turkey. So you get the idea. Just continue to go until there's no meat left on the breast. So if I'm carving the turkey in the kitchen, what I'll do is just take the whole breast off and transfer it to a cutting board, and then I can slice right across. It's much easier than carving it off of the carcass. So to do that, you start with a similar cut down along the side of the breastbone. And use the fork to kind of help you along. So you just cut down and pull it away as you go so you can see where to cut. It gets a little tricky around the wing. There we go. Transfer that to the cutting board. And now the advantage to that is that I can just cut straight across. The wing is much like the leg. You just have to find the joint and cut down through it. And then you can just separate it at the joints. The wings have a lot of connective tissue in them, so it's usually more work than it's worth to kind of try to get the bone out. So I just cut it into pieces. And once you have the wing cut into pieces, you can just transfer it to your platter with your other meat. Enjoy your turkey, and happy Thanksgiving.